Hey there, business animals. It's Kimberly Beer with a free business tip. Today, I want to talk to you about the networking app Clubhouse. So, Clubhouse is a new social media application that is ideal for networking, which is what we've been talking about this week on the podcast. So, in December of 2020, Clubhouse had 600,000 users, and it was still very much in beta and very, very private. As a matter of fact, celebrities and their followers were about the only people using it. Between December of 2020 and February 16th of 2021, it went from 600,000 users to 6 million, and it has just exploded on the social media scene as a fantastic new way to network and communicate in a social way, and business owners are particularly excited about this social media application. Clubhouse is audio only. So it's just people talking. And right now, those conversations aren't recorded. So you have to attend live to get the benefit from them. And that is super important. And I do think that eventually Clubhouse will add recording to their capabilities because so many people are wanting it. But I can tell you, in coming from the days of live webinars, when you're a business person and you're networking, live is the best way to go. When you have live humans that you can interact with right there in the moment, you're much more likely to make connections than listening to a recording and then having to reach out afterward. There are a couple of special caveats with Clubhouse, and the biggest one is that it is only available right now on iOS or Apple devices. So you have to have an iPhone or an iPad in order to use Clubhouse. The other caveat is it is still in beta and invite only. So you've got to kind of know someone who's already on Clubhouse. Now, a few months ago, even as short as 2 months ago from when I'm recording this, getting one of those invites was like gold. Today, it's a little bit less problematic, and I see that loosening up even more. And hopefully Clubhouse will move out of beta and into a released format where invitations and joining the application becomes a super easy process. So once you get into Clubhouse and you get invited, which is off of the number of your device, by the way. So it's either off your cell phone number if you are using your iPhone, or it's off the device phone number for your iPad or other iOS device. Once you get in, you're going to join rooms and join in on conversations. Now you'll enter the room as a listener, and then you may be moved up on what we call the stage. And when you're on stage, then you can talk. If you are in the listening part of the audience, you can raise your hand to indicate to the people on the stage that you would like to come up. Now, this is all very well explained in every Clubhouse room that you're going to get into, so it'll be pretty obvious. Just kind of follow the flow. There are also clubs on Clubhouse. Now, it takes a little bit right now to get a club started, but joining them is super easy. You can either follow a club, or once you've followed a club, usually someone will invite you to join that club. When you are a member of a club, you get special benefits like being able to start rooms in that club, which is super powerful for businesses. All right, so how do you get started? The very first thing you need to do is you need to download the Clubhouse application. And it's going to say Clubhouse Drop-in Audio. This app likes to change its icon, so it's not always going to be the same. So far, it has always been black and white. Now, there are other things in Apple iOS App Store that have the word Clubhouse associated with them, but this one does say Clubhouse Drop-in Audio app. The next thing you're going to want to do is sign up for your account. So if somebody sent you an invitation, this process is really easy. You click a button, download the app, you're all in, right? But if you are coming into it and then going to ask somebody later on to invite you, you're going to have to set up your account. And it just says something simple like reserve your username. It's suggested that you actually use your name. Clubhouse is a lot like LinkedIn in that way. It is based off of you, not off of your company. So use your specific name when signing up. Use your real name. Don't use a persona. And also use as close to your name as you can get for your username. user ID. Then ask friends in your network for an invite if you don't already have one. So it's nice to have the app already on your phone, your user ID, your handle, and your account already set up. And then when somebody sends you the invite, it's just a few moments and then you're into Clubhouse and off and running. So what do you do once you get on Clubhouse? The first thing I recommend is that you drop in on some rooms and get the lay of the land. Now, people are going to know you're new because you'll have a little announcement cone that'll show up with your profile picture. So people know that you are new to Clubhouse, and those are for new users as they join the platform. And they'll help you understand the platform. So far, everyone that I've run into on Clubhouse has been super friendly. Not to say that's going to be the experience forever, but right now it seems to be a very friendly, very happy environment. There are rooms with very charged discussions going on, and people do have arguments in them, but those rooms are pretty obvious. And if you don't want to be part of that conversation, you can avoid them. So join rooms that you find interesting. The rooms are super easy to join. It'll be really obvious when you have the app on your phone and you just touch them, walk in, and start listening. Listen first. That's the most important piece. You can get the lay of the land on this app pretty quickly. So just listen. And then if you are invited to talk if it's appropriate. If you have something to add to the conversation that's going on, raise your hand. Click on the little button and raise your hand and ask to join the conversation. And then also join some clubs and follow people. That should have been in there as well. Follow people. When you follow people and join clubs, then you get announcements when the people that you follow are on inside of a room. You will get pinged to come into that room. And also if your club is hosting a room, you will get pinged to come in that room. So you get notifications when cool conversations are going on that you would have interest in. All right, some Clubhouse etiquette. Raise your hand if you want to talk. I've kind of already covered that when you're in the listener area. Second, click your mute button for applause. So when you mute and unmute really quickly, the mute and unmute blinks on and off by your icon. And since there's no real way for you to communicate back, there's no like direct chat in the app yet, this gives you a way to show your appreciation or your agreement with the conversation that's going on. It's super good feedback for the person that is hosting the stage. Follow people who interest you. I recommend that you always follow back the person who invited you. That's just good etiquette, period. But once you're into the program or into the app, you'll see people that have common interests as you. You also, when you're in a room, if you touch somebody's picture, it'll tell you about them. So you can see their basic little piece of profile. And if you click another button, you get to view their whole profile. And in both of those places, there will be a little place where you can touch the word follow and follow that person. When you follow somebody, you get notified of when they are hosting a room or when they've joined another room, because interests follow interests. And so it helps bring you into the conversation. If you do speak in a room, stay on point, please, and don't hijack the topic. This is not a place where you walk into a room and give your sales pitch on the stage. If the room is about a specific topic, and most of them are, stay on that topic. Some rooms are opened up just for you to deliver your sales pitch. That's great. Go pitch them. But when you're in a room that has a decided topic and has some bumper rails to it, make sure you stay within those rails and keep it on topic and keep it focused. Both the listeners and the people hosting the room will appreciate that. When you create your profile, fill it out fully. Go and look at some people's profiles and see how it's done. It'll be pretty obvious, pretty quick, the things that you probably want to list. Make sure also when you're doing your profile, you add your handles for Twitter and Instagram, probably more importantly, Instagram than Twitter, depending on where you are in this app. For me, it's always been on Instagram because that's the only way people have to get a hold of you is direct messaging on one of those two other social media apps. So they'll send you a DM on Instagram or Twitter. So make sure your handles are on there so that they can touch that button and get in touch with you directly. And finally, as far as etiquette is concerned, we're taught as humans to be considerate when we leave a conversation and say goodbye and kind of wrap up what we're talking about. On Clubhouse, that's not always feasible. And although I don't encourage you to leave a room like right after you've spoken, it's also not necessary for you to raise your hand and announce that you're leaving. Just go ahead and leave. Everybody understands that Clubhouse rooms are kind of transient and people come in and out of them all of the time. If you're a scheduled speaker, stay. But if you're just an audience member or if you're coming into a room and you have a little bit of something to add and then you need to get back to your life, hey, that's great. You just go ahead and leave. You don't have to make a big deal and announce and all of that. It's nice when you speak to maybe wrap up with a thank you for listening to me right when you get to speak, so you're able to leave the room without a lot of reservation later on. All right. As always, be a business animal and come and subscribe with us. Listen on your favorite podcast app. And if you'd like to get in on some deeper conversations, join us on our Facebook group, the Business Animal Podcast Collective, where we'll have discussions about that. The plan is to hopefully start to host Clubhouse rooms really soon, and where we can open up that discussion in an audio format, and we'd love for you to join us. So that's a second plug for getting you on Clubhouse, is to have you come and join the Business Animal Club when we get it up, and also to join Kara and I in conversations and rooms that we have on the Business Animal. I encourage you to find and follow us on Clubhouse. My handle is at Kimberly Beer and Kara's is at Kara Taylor Swift. So we will be seeing you on Clubhouse and on the podcast. Thanks for listening.